especially for Tamago. Let's go ahead and see if we could see something a little bit more better, which could otherwise salvage their run here through the regional.
Okay, so
normally throughout the game, the bans we've seen that come out from red side are usually the Superman and the Killcross. I think we'll see some variation in the draft once we see a different ban come out.
So far, I mean, pretty much standard for what we're seeing.
Yeah, it's pretty much standard. I'm really expecting something along the lines of like Killgroth ban, perhaps maybe a Murad ban. We don't know. Usually the second picks and bans between, see, there's the Killgroth. Usually the second bans are really about respect bans. You know, you have to respect whether or not the enemy team runs that hero really well. And we'll see that Dusk is going to pick up the Sentinel for Resurgence today. It seems that they're going to be using this outnumber strat once more. Let's see if Tamago adapts.
Oh man, so far, whoa! Okay,
That's gonna be about, yeah, we're not gonna have that today.
You thought, guys, you thought.
Just for a bit, just for a bit.
Yeah, but so far, I mean, just very classic trade-off. You're gonna get the Sentinel, we're gonna take the Malak in exchange. Zephyrus as well has been a very high priority as far as picks. No particular bans on the Zephyrus though, I think. Pretty much understandable.
We're still waiting on when Freyda will come out here in the pick and ban phase because it is a very high priority pick for all the teams throughout the day. Let's see, I think Tamago would want to pick up Freyda here.
There we go. It seems like you predicted right, Chisto. Oh, let's also take note of the fact that there's now a Murad in play right now. Remember, I think they banned Murad in the previous games, and maybe that was a respect ban that they didn't want to respect right now, and it seems that Resurgence now has Murad on their team. This will prove to be very crucial. I'm calling it right now. The Murad's going to be the key player in this game. His main task is only one thing: kill that Brayta.
Oh man, and I think that's the interesting thing that we're running with here. I mean, looking at the second rotation of picks coming in from Resurgence, I felt like there could have been the opportunity to go for Freyda, but it's almost like they wanted Tamago to take the Freyda because they had something up their sleeve that would otherwise, at this point, they've determined, okay, this is how we're going to deal with the Freyda heading into this game 3 if Tamago decides to take it. And I feel like, I'm wondering, is Tamago taking the bait in this case? We'll just have to see.
We'll have to see, and we'll see whether or not this Kali finally works out. She seems to be the Ryoma of this day. We'll see whether or not Kali finally wins in this final match between Resurgence and Tamago.
Oh man, way to set the mood, Marco. So, ladies and gents, you've heard from our analysts, of course. Welcome to everybody. We are live here at the Mall of Asia, but for the meantime, I don't know, man, I'm raring to get into this. So we're going to be sending it over to Asar and Riku. Take it away, guys.
Whoa!
I didn't know you were gonna do that. You could have told
I was
me
blown
so
away. Oh yeah, you're right.
With you.
You know what? It's fine. It's okay. So, in our game number 3, we're gonna be seeing the Murad. So this Murad can be, you know, Murad or Musad.
I think that's knew that was gonna come
legitimately, I think it's
time.
gonna be like, you know, the possible linchpin here for pick for Resurgence, wherein it's gonna be make or break depending on Zeus's performance on this particular hero.
Definitely, Murad is a very good level 4 spy hero for the side of Resurgence, but hold that thought, we might see a level 1 clash. But the invades are real here, as they're just going to be trading Might Golems here and there. If Zeus getting that Might buff on their opponent. But let's talk more about Murad. Before, when we saw the Murad pick, we were more like, okay, this is going to be a mid killer. This is going to be a, you know, an anti-KZP squad this time around, because we all know that Preda has been performing so well in this tournament, almost receiving all the MVPs in our series, in our matches rather. So I'm thinking that once that laning phase is set in, once that Murad reaches that level 4, Temporal Turbulence is going to be very effective in these skirmishes.
It's kind of also interesting how we have the Zenial at the Abyssal Dragon lane. If you think about it, all Zenials that we've seen have all been on the DS lane, so you can capitalize mucho gracias on that ultimate of his. But at this point, I think they're just kind of afraid, you know, that this Tamago rotation, that squad is going to be gravitating more towards that lane, so maybe they went for the Zenial there?
That is true. Actually, that is a very good point you brought up, Asteroid, because a lot of Sentinel Irie matchups in the DS lane, Irie wins that matchup, and I feel like they do not want to take the risk and would rather have Dusk get that farm up, rather than Senyel having a hard time at the top side of the map. So that's most likely the logic behind that. But again, we'll have to see Abyssal Dragon being taken right now by Tamago.
Aris is level 4. He got no smash, but there you go. Going for the dash. Still not going to be enough. Malik drops down and goes in for the flank. Chasing down aggressively onto the Stain. And with that knockup should secure, take him down. And even the connection, the pop back into the Embracing Arms of TMG. Can Inky actually get away from this one? Running away with that Kali. And he still actually escapes. But of course, not enough damage was put out right there. Murad with the temporal turbulence, but still actually get pushed out of his own jungle.
That's one of the tricky things of having a Murad in your squad. If RSG, or rather Tamago, decide to attack, whenever, Murad would still, if you catch him without his stacks, and it's not going to be as effective as when he does have it and prepare to engage of some sort. And normally, he's very effective when you contest objectives because you find Mira just trying to stack, doing auto attacks at the Abyssal Dragon, or probably some camp in the jungle if they try to contest. And normally, you don't do that on heroes because if you get locked in, if you're the first one to dive in, they'll just CC you to death. And that's one of the reasons why it's so tricky against Tamago, because they do have that hissy fit, they do have that sunshine from that Alice. So Murad has to be extra careful whenever he does these engages.
Definitely, it's just super tricky for a Murad to actually go up against that. And another thing that they gotta be careful about is Jason. We have seen Iris way back, I think on like PPGL and again, Valor Cup Season 1, wherein she was just totally a beast. This is probably one of the few heroes that have a triple dash, I believe, so she can really just be in and out of the fight very quickly.
Exactly. Very good split pusher. Has a ton of CCs to work with, and as well as safety when she enters into these team fights with her ultimate Ryu. And at this point, we see Tamago doing that early aggressive rotation, trying to scare them away, getting that control over the Abyssal Dragon. You see Resurgence rotating at bot side.
We are going to be trying to contest this one, but who gets the last hit? It is going to be Zace with the steal, but now a fight ensues. Actually, you see Dusk is actually going to be in the back, going in with the flank, but all the drop downs coming in, all the knockups so beautifully done by Tamago as RSG is going for the retreat. Although they do get themselves the Abyssal Dragon, it seems like they are not, being pushed back at all as Tamago gets the jungle and gets 2 kills as well.
Nice steal there from Zace, but they have to pay for it for 2 members, suffering and losing that team fight, and most likely losing a couple of buffs because Irie was left alone at the top side of the map. So Resurgence did what they could, and a lot of consolation prize for Tamago as well, trying to equalize their losses through getting the kills, in which they have succeeded. Because there's no threat for KZP at that point, and he was quite safe in the backline, dealing a lot of hurt towards the members of Resurgence. But again, it's all about how they position themselves and how Zace is going to effectively try to maximize his ult just to get a lot of key members super low. Because once mid-game comes, Murad is so going to be painful. A very effective sieger, if you will, as well, because he's capable of diving in and diving out and try to make a lot of members super low on the opposite side of Tamago.
Yeah, and he's susceptibly very difficult to actually kill. Once you position that temporal turbulence quickly, he's basically just the, I guess, arguably the best kind of like poke in your face assassin that just comes out, Houdini's out of nowhere.
Exactly. So he sort of, I do agree with you. He sort of is like has a poke concept in. He goes in, he goes out, deals damage, and he's just gonna rely on a couple of members to try and deal damage and finish the kill.
Ooh, 1v1 scenario, but of course Zenial and the Malik, no, that was Zephys, actually gonna join in on the party. And 4 is a squad, but, well, nothing to be had there. Irie has been quite quiet in the top side or on that DS lane, and she is already stacking up on that levels. I think close to level 10. There it is.
Exactly. She's been winning the duels here and there against Dusk at the top side of the map. More so if that's going to be a Seniel and will not be able to respond properly. But again, Tamago, this is going to be their 3rd contest on the Abyssal Dragon, but it's not going to be stolen anytime soon as RSG is quite far as they're investing a couple of members trying to farm up and catch up with the goal before they enter into a fight next time.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels good right now for Tamago. I'm feeling like they kind of know that their composition works in a 4-1 split type of deal wherein, you know, you have yourself the four members that can actually deal significant amount of damage and can survive because they have the Malik in the front, the Zephyrs as well, who has good enough sustain, and then Irie, all she gotta do is just keep stacking up, get those levels, get those items, and once she is on that point where she can be very, very how do you call this, threatening, that's when they're going to be exploding.
Exactly. This is actually pretty interesting. If you look at it, Mirai was actually able to escape there as Love drops from heaven, tries to scare them away perhaps, and as you can see, Flicker used by Linky, he absolutely...
Oh, what is Zace doing there? Actually charges in a bit too over-aggressive with no plan in mind from the looks of it. And he pays with his life, even a mid-tier 1. And at the opposite side of the map, top tier, Irie goes in ham and destroys that one. Does get punished by, you know, taking away at her own life, but it seems like TMG here, Tamago cracking a little bit of eggs, pun intended, as they go aggressively on Dust, missing that way from the Preda. But of course, with the Hissy Fit, they'll be able to keep him in check and just pin him down.
Because of that pick on the Mira, there was less threat on the map. So it just enabled a lot of members from Tamago to rotate and try to take that punish for that 2v1 situation at that DS lane. And at this point, they're contesting a lot of objectives. And going back to what happened there, I felt like Zace just wanted to try and damage and then port back to where he came from. But I believe... Oh, hold that thought. Okay, there's a pick there. Malik falls. But I believe his mindset was... he got poked out by that wave from Preda and didn't expect the humongous damage coming from Tamago's side, and he had to suffer from that mistake. But then again, Tamago at this point has a lot of control, but RSG first in the pit.
There you go, triple dash just to zone himself, or rather keep himself safe. Irie is throwing out the shurikens just to make sure that maybe he can actually initiate a fight here. Here comes Zenya for the support, but now, right from the get-go, Tainted is actually going to be collapsing upon the Murad, but it's going to be very difficult because he got that dash away, but KZP looking straight in the face of that Murad, trying to run away, but the auto attacks will be real. They got themselves a double kill, and even though that Abyssal Dragon is taken by Resurgence, I mean, at the end of the day, losing 2 members, a tower, not the best in terms of trade.
Definitely. Tamago, despite being late to the party at the Abyssal Dragon, Resurgence has invested some of their HP just to try and take it down. They tried to zone their best, but look at Love. There's 3 men at the bottom side of the map.
Man, Love is just getting all the attention right now, and Does joining onto the fight. This is a 3v1, but he's got to be careful because every other member of Resurgence will be considering to go on that bottom side. Jason is, well, spotted, but he will immediately dash away. Gotta remember that he got the triple dash, so he should be good, and Dandy here actually has that triple. There you go, gets away.
They respect the damage from KZP on that Preda time and time again, but Tainted One has eliminated Zace at this point.
Alright, I mean, this is just when you start seeing the eggs roll. Egg joke, pun intended.
That's your second egg joke for today, Asura, in this series, but as you can see, Tamago having a lot of control over the map, just really getting buffs here and there, as Resurgence is just trying to pick up the pieces and trying to take a breather, but Tamago just keeps going and going and not allowing them that space for them to breathe at all.
Yeah. I mean, this is just beautiful from them. You can see that the Resurgence is having so much difficulty kind of like contesting these fights. The only time that we've seen team fights actually happen is in front of the Abyssal Dragon Pit, and at that point, there's kind of like a miscommunication or a misprioritization of targets here for Zace, and even though he is putting a lot of members low, it's not the members that they want to be, you know, taken away by that Murad.
Yeah, and here we go. Let's see if
Hey, Poppy actually goes in and gets obliterated. The Death Rush is gonna be real here. How they got it for the 4 kills. There you go. That's gonna be an ace. Straight from the get-go. My goodness. Tamago. OMG.
They're going to take a lot out of this. A high ground tower and potential Dark Slayer after this. Or maybe even the game. That's 15 seconds on the clock. Lots of auto attackers.
Oh, no.
It looks like that's it.
Can I just finish this? TMG is just OMG for game number 3.
GG, well played. That ends our series of Resurgence versus Tamago. Tamago comes up on top in a very dominating fashion from game number 1.